Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I decided to do some gel printing. I am following the color prompt for the makers of Mixed Media on Facebook. That's a Facebook page created by PM Artist Studio. The colors were, I believe it was ultramarine and cheddar. I'm using the actual cheddar paint that I have from Dina Wakley. And it's kind of old. You can tell. There's like a granular texture. Probably would be okay to paint with, maybe. But it's it's more transparent than I thought it was going to be. And kind of grainy. That's what happens when your paint gets old. You need to use it or lose it, I think. I have so much paint. I just need to keep using. Anyways, that was pretty light. So, the next layer is going to be the ultramarine. And did I say these stencils are called Nested Circles? It's a set of 12 stencils, and they're by PM Artist Studio. And I'll put a link in the description box below to their YouTube channel, and from there you could find their Facebook group and their website and stuff if you're interested. Yeah. Anyway. So now I am doing, the blue one looks a little bit better, maybe? It's all still pretty light and fuzzy. So I'm going to peel those off and let that dry, and then maybe add another layer and see what we can get with that. How's everybody doing? I know some places it's pretty hot right now. Texas is like got record heat wave going on. It's pretty hot here, but probably only because we haven't turned our air conditioner on yet. So inside the house it's pretty hot. In direct sun it's pretty hot too, actually. I work from home and I have a portable air conditioner that I use in my office. It's not real portable, it hooks out to the window, but at least when I'm working I'm cooler. Yeah, see, it's only 77 degrees outside. That's not bad. Alright, so I put another layer, obviously, and put more of the cheddar on there. They're pretty bland layers. Okay, so then I decided I would add a little of, it's copper. It's called Penny, and it's by Dina Wakley, since I had my Dina Wakley paint out. And I figured it looked kind of orange, so that's my extra. I think they allow like a metallic or white and black is allowed in the challenge. I posted a picture a long time ago. So I'm taking one of these. Okay, I'm taking the blue one that's pretty boring, and we're going to layer it with the penny. I know, I give them long massages. Oh, and yeah, they tend to stick. If they've got paint on both sides, they become very sticky. So it's getting more interesting. So now I'm just going to add some more ultramarine. This is a cheddar and ultramarine challenge, so it's a lot of those two colors. Trying to do it without having the stencils move on me. And put the first one I pulled, that pale orange one. Add some blue to it. Sorry about the wiggle. I am doing this on a very small TV tray. And I've done artwork on there for so long, I think the legs are getting loose. I think it wiggles more and more every day. One of these days I'll get a real art desk. hopefully taking these off will have some interesting layers. A little bit of orange, a little bit of blue, a little bit of copper. As long as I can remember where all the stencils are. Sometimes when you've got multiples on there, it's hard to tell if you've pulled them all. Okay, so I let it dry, that's why it looks darker. And I decided I was going to add something else. So this is an Elizabeth St. Hilaire stencil. Part of her, I think it's part of her Klimt series of stencils. I can't remember the name, but I wanted something more geometric, more square, to oppose the circles. And then I let that dry. And I'm just going to add some white to pull it up. I figured I'd do white because the cheddar is so, yeah, and I'm running out of paint. It's so pale that anything else, it would just disappear. So I added the white. I did do this a little while ago, so I'm trying to remember everything I did and why. Decided to pull out my Bern on this one, give it a good massage, and then I did let that kind of firm up a bit. It's pretty dry when I pull it, and that's it. And this time I think I am doing black circles. I put the masks down. I can't remember if I pulled this on a plain piece of paper or on one of them that I didn't care about much. Because that black's going to cover everything up. Oh yeah, really pale one. The idea is to lift up all the black around it. So I'm going to grab another piece of paper and get that residue of the black. Got most of it. So then when you lift this, you have the nested circles in black. And then I want to print that onto one of my other pages. Giving it a good massage. There we go. I think that's the one. I don't know. One of them ends up being the one I go with. I think that. Not sure if that's it or not, but I put a lot more paint on this one. I'm trying to put the circles in different spots every time so that it makes more of a layer of pattern. And again, just picking up any residue of orange. Now hopefully there'll be enough orange underneath those stencils to leave some pattern on whichever layer of paper I decide to use. Oh, I think this is the one that had the black on it too, like the black circles. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so here are all the ones I created. And then I decided I wanted to try something. So I saw a piece of fabric that had leaf patterns on it. And the leaves looked like they had a blue color, so that works with the ultramarine. They looked like some were close and some were further away. Like they started out white and they get a little bit of blue and a little bit more blue and more blue and more blue until it's just the blue background. So I thought I would experiment with the circles and try it with the ultramarine. Since it's fairly transparent, I was hoping that this would work. And the paint I'm using is the Hippie Crafter. Yeah, and that happened. Gotta be careful if it's not sticking down to the plate. I just grabbed that with my brayer, didn't I? So I let it dry a little bit, and I'm going to stick the next layers on. I do want the layer of paint to dry so that when I do the next brayer, the next layer, it will just add to the layer that's already there. At least that's my hope. And then, you know, each stencil that goes down will create a barrier. So the hope is that it'll have that same effect. It kind of does. Now, there is residual orange on there, so it's not straight blue. And there's some orange on my stencils, which tends to stick to some of the paint in the end. So it's more than just blue. And yeah, but I think the theory was good. I'm tempted to give this idea another try, maybe with my golden or Liquitex paints. Maybe with some quinacridone or brown. I mean, blue is my favorite color, but, you know, it could be interesting with those other colors. So I'm trying to carefully brayer that paint on and not pull up any of the stencils. I can't remember how many layers I do. But if any of you are gel printers, have any of you tried this technique before to get the depth of one color like that? You'll have to let me know and how you succeeded and what you used. Again, just putting it on there carefully for the fresh stencils because they don't really have the bare gel plate to cling to. What would have been smart, which I don't think I do, but while that paint was fresh, get the other ones on, and then they'd stick to that paint. I don't think I do that. Well, but then if they stick to that paint, they're going to lift that paint. So that's another thing you have to think about. Because these stencils, when you stick them on, if they go on to wet, they can lift what's underneath them. So I think this one was hard to discover where all the stencils were. I almost missed one, but I think I find them all in the end. And of course I let that dry again thoroughly. And this is, I don't think this one's ultramarine, is it? Well, I guess it is. It just seemed a little lighter there for a minute. And it was soaking up, so one thing you really shouldn't be doing is adding more paint after you start brayering, because it can tend to lift stuff up. Alright, so we're going to do this one, give it give it a good rub, and I let it sit there for quite a while. I wanted to make sure it was all stuck down. It still didn't quite lift everything. That happens. But you almost get the depth. Like, some of them look like they're in the distance a little bit. Anyway, that is the last one. There'll be some pictures of this project and the one right before it. Thank you all for watching. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and have an awesome day.